here's President Trump on the Epstein files. He wanted them released. He didn't want them released. He now wants them released. He said, get them all out there. Let's end the distraction. Here's what he told reporters yesterday.
We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman, you look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton, they went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize the great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower, on energy, on ending 8 wars, and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that. Unfortunately, like with the Kennedy situation, with the Martin Luther King situation, not to put Jeffrey Epstein in the same category, but no matter what we give, it's never enough. You know, with Kennedy, we gave everything and it wasn't enough. With Martin Luther King, we gave everything and it's never enough. We've already given, I believe the number is 50,000 pages, 50,000 pages. And it's just a Russia hoax as it pertains to the Republicans. Now, I believe that many of the people some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein. But they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens. What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party.
Well, it can't detract, but it can distract. And that's always been his concern. Here's a headline. Boy, here's one that's one for the ages. From the Washington Examiner, Byron York. They knew Epstein was guilty of trafficking underage girls. They stuck with him anyway, except Trump. Trump dumped him like yesterday's, dirty laundry. According to all written accounts and reporting, when Trump knew that this guy was a degenerate, a pervert, who was preying on underage girls, he cut him off completely, kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, wanted nothing to do with him again. But that's not the narrative the Democrats are trying to advance. They think they've got Trump somehow in some kind of compromising relationship with Epstein, because he knew Epstein at one point. They all knew Epstein at one point. And isn't it funny how they're avoiding the fact that there was a Democrat congresswoman, I guess she's technically a delegate from what I think the Virgin Islands, being coached by Epstein during hearings to try to get dirt on Trump. Epstein hated Donald Trump, period, which one would think would be a pretty important part of this story. Look, I know what's going to happen. As the files get released, a whole lot of rich, famous, powerful people are going to have some kind of level of implication. And when that happens, already Larry Summers, the former Harvard president and Obama administration official, is ashamed of the role he played with Epstein. He's been revealed, and he's like, I'm out of public life. I'm ashamed of myself, and I'm retiring from public life. Now, I'm sure he'll keep his cushy teaching gig at Harvard. But no more speeches, no more public appearances, no more D.C. dinner parties for Larry Summers. And that's just going to be one of many. And there will be a distraction. We're going to take you to Capitol Hill in just a moment, where Marjorie Taylor Greene is on Capitol Hill speaking to reporters. She's gathered by a group of survivors. She appeared with Ro Khanna, the California congressman, talking to reporters about the Epstein vote that is about to commence later today. I want to get your take on all of it. We're not going to run from it. It's a real issue. It's an important issue, I guess. I say I guess because I know it comes from bad faith motivations on the part of the Democrats. I've never understood Trump's reluctance, other than maybe to protect some perhaps powerful donors and rich and important people that are going to get smeared It's like grand jury testimony. There can be lies that are reflected in the Epstein files. And like the old quote goes, where do you go to get your reputation back if you haven't done anything wrong? If the only thing you did wrong was knowing Jeffrey Epstein, if that's how you're going to be smeared, guilt by association, that's going to be a problem for a lot of people. And I suspect Trump wanted to avoid that problem. So give me your take on it here in the Relief Factor Studios. This Tuesday, here we are, November the 18th, 2025. It's great to have you with us. Our number is 800-655-MIKE. One number does it all. Call or text, but tell me what you think about where we go from here, because I don't know exactly. A lot of this story, I have to admit, I'm confused by. A lot of it baffles me. I can't figure out why Trump didn't want to release the Epstein files. I can't quite understand. There's a lot of it I'm confused about. So maybe you can be the voice of reason, the voice of clarity today here on the Mike Gallagher Show. 800-655-MIKE. Flood the zone. I want to fill my phone lines with your voice, your call, your perspective on what you think happens next. Do you think my prediction is correct? That a whole lot of potentially innocent people are going to get smeared by the release of the Epstein files?
Breaking now on the Mike Gallagher Show.
So today, the big congressional vote is going to take place over releasing the Epstein files. Moments ago, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene weighed in with reporters on Capitol Hill.
Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files, but the real fight will happen after that. While I want to see every single name released so that these women don't have to live in fear and intimidation, which is something I've had a small taste of in just the past few days, just a small taste. They've been living it for years. But the real test will be, will the Department of Justice release the files? Or will it all remain tied up in investigations? Will the CIA release the files? Will a judge in New York release the information? That's information that needs to come out. And will the list of names that these women privately hold, and they hold it because of their fear in their heart of what would happen to them if they release it on their own, will that list of names come out? That's the real test. So I want to thank Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna for your bravery in doing something that is much needed in America, crossing the political aisle that has become bigger than the Grand Canyon in America.
Okay, so there's a lot of analysts who are saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie outmaneuvered President Trump, that they beat him on this. Mix in a little Democrat handiwork like Ro Khanna, and you've got a president who changed his mind. Look, this president changes his mind when he feels like it. And he evidently has changed his mind on releasing the Epstein files. Give me your take, 800-655-MIKE. And yes, I'm seeing all your text messages. There is a Cloudflare internet problem. So if you can't stream the show today at mikeonline.com, if you go to the Salem News Channel app, you'll be able to watch snc.tv. We think Salem News Channel, the over-the-top streaming platform, is working, but not much else is. Thankfully, the radio part is working. It's like a metaphor for the state of broadcasting 2025. Radio is the sturdy foundation of everything. Everything else stems from the radio, and radio is working. The bones are solid. Everything else has gone to crap. Before I take your calls, I want to remind you about what's happening in Ukraine. Elderly Jews are trapped in unbearable poverty. Greene is a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor who has spent her entire life in the same village. She's sick, she's alone, she's facing another bitterly cold winter. Today, like every day, she has to decide whether to spend what little money she has on food, on medication, or heat. No one has to live like this. No one should be forced to live this way. The Bible tells us that when we bless elderly Jews living in poverty, like Greene, you'll get blessings back. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, you can bring hope to those in need. Your gift of just $25 will help provide a food box packed full of life-saving essentials that will help feed an elderly Jew struggling to survive. As you know, we were in Israel just a couple of weeks ago, and we were visiting with our friend Yael Eckstein, the president and CEO of International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. I love this organization. Don't delay. Visit urgentifcj.org. One word, urgentifcj.org, to make an online donation. urgentifcj.org, or call 866-338-IFCJ. Rich in Marietta, Georgia. We'll start there. Hey, Rich, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Mike, thanks. Originally Trump wanted to release the files, and then he just wanted to kind of move on and talk about all the things that he's doing. And now he's just calculating that it's just easier just to go back to his original position. So I think it's just no big deal. But, it's just one of those things. He's got good instincts.
That's exactly right. It is like the often used phrase, it is what it is. Fred's in Houston. Hi, Fred. Welcome. How are you?
Doing well, sir. Good morning, and it's first-time caller, and it's a privilege to talk with you.
Thank you, Fred. Welcome to the show. We're glad you got through, and I'm glad you could join us. We appreciate it.
My thoughts are this. President Trump is showing the gentlemanly side of himself. He does not want the political shrapnel from this explosion to harm children and wives and other family members that inevitably will happen when this kind of thing happens. There will be those who are wounded who will carry those wounds, and nobody will ever know about it.
That's right.
So, President Trump, hats off, sir. You're a gentleman.
All right. Appreciate your perspective very much, Fred. Thanks. Look, the Democrats are in complete meltdown mode. You got to hear this. People thought this was AI. Here was Chuck Schumer, who is flailing, who's floundering, who's facing a revolt within his own party. Check out what the question and answer session at a press conference that he held yesterday.
Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Or not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding? Why doesn't he want them released? When you don't want something like this released, when even a whole lot of Republicans are calling for the release, his own party members, people ask the question, what's he hiding? It's got to be answered by releasing the files.
Did you hear the did you hear the shock, the gasp from the pool of reporters? He was asked why the Biden administration didn't release the Epstein files, and Schumer said, "Yeah, what the hell's he hiding? That's right. I want to know." Of course, in his mind, he thinks that they're all going to go with him and focus on Trump. It's just kind of a strange. All of it is bizarre. It gives me a headache. There's important things to deal with, and as long as we're on the Epstein subject, how about this member of Congress who was texting with Jeffrey Epstein during a hearing to get Trump? Trump is completely, it seems, completely blameless on this. Again, as Byron York reports at the Washington Examiner, they all continued to hang out with him, with Epstein, and reach out to him even after they knew that he was a convicted pedophile, except Trump. Trump wanted nothing to do with him. So once again, their narrative doesn't work. But we're going to see how this plays out. Give me your take on all of it. 800-655-MIKE. We have an open line. 800-655-6453. And yesterday I was watching Will Cain over on Fox News. He asked some really powerful questions about this particular member of Congress texting with Epstein. Why aren't the Democrats asking about that?
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.